Loquacity here, and today I'm here with Sensei Warren Schofield. Hello. So, what age were you when you started doing judo?
16.
16. What originally got you into doing judo?
I just saw it just down the road, actually, at a youth club by my old coach. He was doing a demonstration, and because my first sport was rugby league, when I left school, and I saw this demonstration, people flying through the air, and I got hooked.
Ah, see. So, did you give up rugby after that?
No, I did rugby for quite a long time. I did rugby and judo side by side for something like 7 years.
Wow.
And then my father sort of said I was doing too much because I was doing it 7 days a week, and he said, "You're gonna have to." He said, "Please decide whether you're going to do judo or rugby." And there were a lot of nice people in judo, so I decided to carry on with judo.
So what was the times like back then? Like today, now you have so many gyms in Rochdale, jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing, Thai boxing. Back in your day, was there a lot of gyms like that where you could go and learn, or what was the culture
like? No, there
like?
wasn't. There were basically only three sports there: Aikido and Kendo and Judo. They were karate as well. Sorry, 4. They were the basic sports in the town. But Judo, there was only one club, and that was ours, and it was over an old garage on Howard Street, just over an old garage, and we practiced on a sawdust mat.
Ah, see, what era was this? Was this the 70s you were training in when you started?
Yeah, early 70s.
Early 70s. Yeah. So you must have seen a lot of changes in judo itself, the sport, what it was and what it's become now. What would you say are the positive and some of the positive changes, some of the negative changes that you've personally seen?
I think the positive changes is basically the way the dojo, as you can see the dojo here, and you look round, it's purpose built for people's safety. And we have qualified coaches. They're all NGB qualified, so that's a plus for the sport. It has changed since I started. There's certain techniques been taken off by what you call the IGF, International Judo Federation, and they've taken certain techniques out of the sport to make it safer, obviously, for people to practice.
So would you say them techniques being taken out, it's better overall for the sport and people wanting to get into it?
Better for the sport, for the safety side of it, but from a self-defence side of it, maybe they should have been kept in.
Yeah, that's one of the critiques I've heard, is that even with the sports like BJJ, they've become sportified and the street defence elements kind of been taken off. Because some of the guys that do well in BJJ or judo these days, they don't necessarily do as well in MMA. Like some of the older guys, when they came into MMA, they had like a background in the old school judo or BJJ, and they actually competed better because it was more suited towards a fight. So somebody who's looking to get fit and in shape, who might be a bit apprehensive and say, like, grappling, I don't really know, I can go boxing and stuff, but I'm just a bit scared and nervous because I don't want to get hurt or injured. What would you say to those people to encourage them to get into the gym and do judo?
Just come down. Like I say, everybody's made welcome here at this club. Just come down, have a look at it, have a look round, watch your session for the evening and see whether it would entice you to go on the mat. Try a beginner's course, what we do.
So can you tell us a little bit of the timetable, beginner's course, and for those who want to attend?
Well, the beginner's course, they usually advertise it on Facebook and things like that. And you can have a beginner's course from 6 weeks to 10 weeks. And you just come weekly. You're taught the basics, outer fall, rolling, certain exercises, and exercises to ease you into the sport, all judo related.
I see. Have you ever been to Japan?
Yes.
Oh, so what were your thoughts of Japan when you first went there?
Well, I went over there to the Olympics. I went to Beijing. I went to Japan in 1995 to watch the World Judo Championships. It was absolutely fantastic. The Japanese people love judo, sambo wrestling, sumo wrestling. Sumo wrestlers are treated like gods over there, but judo, if you do judo over there, you just welcome everywhere you go.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've heard the culture over in Japan is very different to the UK. Like here, we could be quite boisterous, whereas the Japanese, they're very respectful and they can seem subdued to some and a bit cold. But personally, I think it's more to do with the respect factor that they don't want to.
Yeah, I think on the majority of judo clubs run here, it's done respectfully as well. I think the Kano way is everybody respects Jigarai Kano, the man who actually did jiu-jitsu and judo derives from jiu-jitsu, as you know, and Jigarai Kano was a big involvement in bringing judo to as an Olympic sport.
Yeah, we were talking about that before, like how I noticed judo has retained a culture of respect and integrity, whereas some other grappling arts or some other martial arts, they don't necessarily have that built-in, culture of respect and etiquette. No. Why do you think that is, that judo's been able to maintain it and just keep it all the way through, whereas these other sports, they just don't have it? I
think it's down to the amount of time the coaches have had in the sport, because you can only qualify as a coach when you've done, you've got to have reached black belt for a start, your first dan, and on the way there's a certain limit on when you can actually start coaching. So I think that's probably one of the very big plus for judo, that you can't just be given a sports degree or anything like that. You have to earn and be qualified through the association, the British Judo Association.
So how many years in total have you been training judo, and what belt are you, and do you have a certain lineage that goes back to?
Yeah, I'm a seventh dan. In judo, you get what you call your competitive grades. Well, in my day it did. It's changed a little bit now, and it's changing again. But in my day, you had to fight for every belt up to fifth dan. Oof. Right, that was competitive. You had to fight for that to become a grade up to fifth dan. Then after fifth dan, you got your sixth dan for what you've contributed to the sport. I.e., I did the area coach's job for 14 years for the BGA, all voluntary. I've developed various clubs over the years, and obviously things like that, the IGF take on board, and the BGA, and I got it's what you call a grade, what's given to you for what you've contributed to the sport.
So you were saying you're a red belt, or?
Yeah, red and white belt, seventh dan.
So you're a seventh dan. Yes. And does your lineage does it go back to a particular sensei? Like for example, you studied off a certain sensei, and then does it stretch all the way back to a particular sensei?
Yeah, well, this is my sensei coming in now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Maurice Clark. Right. Yeah.
How old did you say he was?
He's 89, Maurice, now, yeah.
89?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
He looks looks in great shape.
18 upstairs. 18 up here.
So you've got a lot of experience, and must have seen the youth, like people who come in shy, and then what kind of transformations have you seen in people from doing judo?
Well, I've seen some great transformation in attitude, respect, people having that respect for the coaches and the people within the club. We've had many different people come here from mixed martial arts, such as jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, all sorts of grappling sports. But they find this sport some people find it very difficult to take to, because there's such a lot of technical stuff you have to, what's required from you, and a lot of techniques you have to learn, such as katas and the technical grades and things like that.
Do you watch any MMA, UFC, anything of that nature? Or do you watch anything like the UFC mixed martial arts?
Oh, I see things on Facebook and various other things, but I think it's all promotion for their own sport, basically.
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. Yeah. So is there a judoka or somebody that you look up to or admire?
Yeah. People like Neil Adams, who was world champion in '82. Brian Jacks. People only probably my age will know them names. Brian Jacks was on the British team. And going back years ago, he was part of a TV program called what do we call that? TV program, and it was about sports people doing different things. And he ranked very high in that, particularly with his dips.
Is there Superstars or something?
That's the one, Superstars. Yeah. And he brought judo to the top. He was a personality. He's retired now. Well, retired. He's wrote a book as Brian. I have his book. And he lives in Thailand now, but he still comes over here and does touring around the country and doing courses. And so does Neil Adams.
I see. So you were talking about the competition element, that you actually trained a Paralympian. Could you talk a little bit about that and what stage they actually reached in the Paralympics?
Yeah, they come here trained as a junior, come from the junior section right up to our classes, the seniors. And I give my lunchtime up for him every day. His father asked me would I personally coach him. And I personally coached him to prior to the Olympics. I did about 3 months solid, making him work very hard. In them days I was very active myself as well. I made him work against me and worked him very hard. And he was partially sighted. And he got a gold medal in the Seoul Olympics in 1988.
Wow, that's very high.
If you look at it really, and I like to brag a little bit, I'm the first coach ever to get an Olympian a gold medal, which was the Paralympics.
Wow, fantastic.
Our Judo club contributed to that.
What was his name?
Simon Jackson.
Simon Jackson.
MBE now. He's an MBE. 6th Dan.
Wow, so judo's really transformed his life to the highest level.
Yeah.
So what advice could you give to the youth, youngsters, teenagers who are just having a difficult time through life, like whether it's regarded to judo or not, like what parting advice would you give to them?
My advice would be to get into a sport, any sport, it doesn't really matter. Take your mind off going on the streets and things like that and being approached by people who want to sell certain products and whatever. Get into a sport and put your heart into that sport and it'll change your life.
Fantastic. Thank you. It's been a nice interviewing, Sensei, and hopefully I'll start doing a class soon.
Okay, more than
Thank you.
welcome.
Bye.
Thank you.